that's one possibility, a terrorist attack. And the other possibility is, I don't know how political you want to get with this, but you see, my beliefs are that we have people inside our own government who have sold us out. They've stolen a lot of money, and they've done a lot of illegal stuff, and they're about to go to jail, but they would rather cause as much chaos as they can because it provides cover for them. And maybe an insider attack, or one that they orchestrate by other means, and they create an EMP to blame on Iran or whatever, so we can go to war with them, and they get to escape all their wrongdoings, and then they also get another war. Either way you look at it, this seems like more and more like it might become a possibility in our future, which is very scary. That's why I really try to get people to start preparing and prepping and learn how to live off the grid and do a lot of the hunting and trapping that you talk about. You just don't have books, though. You have some DVDs, too, on your website, right? That teach how to hunt and trap, because that's kind of like a lost art. There's not too many people, especially in my generation, who knows how to trap and live off the land, which they're going to need to know if there's no supermarkets and stuff like that. What is your website if people want to go take a look at the books and the DVDs that you have?
It's www.snare-trap-survive.com. If you have any trouble getting to my website, just do a search for Bruce Buckshot Hemming. My website will come right up. Pop over, take a look. I have over 20 DVDs, 8 just on wilderness survival, anything from making fires to building shelters to fishing to trapping to snaring. Huge things to cover. And you're right. What we have is it's almost like by design. Since the 70s, the whole hunting and trapping and even fishing a little bit has been getting attacked by the radical left. And it's all pushed people away from the sport of learning this. And it's more than a sport. I've always looked at it as a freedom. You can go out there and you can provide for yourself. You're not dependent on others. And you're right, we have to get that information out. And in my latest book, just for instance, I explain how to make flour out of acorn. And it's more than just collecting the acorns. You have to know how to properly prepare them. Because if you just try eating acorns raw, you're going to get sick because of the tannic acid.
And don't they have to be boiled? They got to be boiled and stuff like that, right?
Right. So
they provide a lot of protein, don't they, acorns?
Yes, they do. It's a very important source of food, just like raccoons are a very important food source, which most people, even hunters, wouldn't even think about eating them. But roasted over a fire, they're fantastic eating. And that's the kind of mindset that we're going to need for people to get to survive. And they're going to have to change their whole... As Americans, we're very spoiled people. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you ate something you didn't even want to try? We're people that have the widest variety of food. We can specialize our diet. I remember this was quite a while ago, back, I think it was 96 or 97, they had the storm of the century that hit like Virginia and Washington, D.C., and there was a ton of snow and people couldn't get out, and the ones that did make it to the grocery store were complaining because there was no bread. And the manager was telling people, well, there's flour and yeast and sugar, you know, you can make your own. And people were saying, is that what bread's made out of?
So in your book, it's not just fiction. There's a lot of education in your book that teaches people how they can do this stuff on their own.
Exactly. And I wanted to open people's eyes up to thinking, there's a whole lot to this survival. To say I can hunt and provide for myself, you're going to starve to death. And I want to get people, the more people that survive, the better off America's going to be as a whole. And it all depends how far you are on your prepping. And even though I know all this stuff, I still have stored food. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that you're going to read all my books and you're going to magically become an expert on all this stuff. It takes years to become very good at all this. It takes practice, and there's a learning curve. So you still want to have your stored food to get you through that short term. But from reading from the report, you're going to have about 6 months of pure chaos. And if you're in a big city like New York City, you got to get out. There is no question about it. Well, they did one study in L.A., and they said if they lose power within 2 weeks, there would be a foot, 12 inches of human waste on the streets because the sewer plants wouldn't be working. Just to give you an idea,
wow.
The cities would be a death trap, and the disease rate would just go out of control.
Well, I agree with you 100%. I recently, a few years ago, I saw this all coming, and I moved upstate New York, and I'm in Livingston County, and there's not that many people where I live. I'm from Long Island, and I didn't want to have any part of it after all the, after 9/11 and the whole 2012 thing. It just seemed like things were getting worse and worse, and the problems were compacting on top of each other. So I moved up here, and everything's cheaper, and there's deer everywhere. You can go hunting. There's farms everywhere. So I think I'll be okay over here, except there's a lot of nuclear power plants still around me. Chicago, all over the place. There would be a lot of wind that took if there was a meltdown or the grid down, it would still be hard for the power plants to melt down. They have backup systems, but after a while, the military would have to be there every single day providing gasoline to keep the generators going. But what if a few of those power plants melted down like we had in Fukushima because of a grid down scenario? It would make half the United States unlivable.
Oh, you're getting into another whole nightmare inside of the original nightmare. You're right, our nuclear power plants are an Achilles heel. Excuse me, you would have to, them cooling, those rods have to be cooled constantly, and the only way you can cool them constantly is you have to pump water over them. It can't be just set in water. It has to be moving water to keep them cool enough so they don't have the meltdown. And then if we have the meltdown, it just further catastrophic collapse. I mean, if all our nuclear plants melted down, then you're looking at 150 years before we were able to rebuild. It could get really bad.
Yeah. So what is stopping, what makes people think America is not going to collapse the way Russia did? We're trillions of dollars in debt, okay? And the only thing we have to show for it is we have flat screen TVs. Other than that...
Oh, I know.
Really. Other than that, really, what is so great right now? What is holding this country up, other than the fact that at night we can sit down and watch a soap opera on our flat screen TV? It's time for people to wake up, snap out of it, we could collapse just as quickly as Russia, and we might be collapsing right now, but because CNN, and when you turn on the news, instead of seeing reports of what's really going on, they tell you how to make blueberry pancakes. Well, I already know how to make blueberry pancakes. I don't want to see that when I turn on the news. I want to know the real deal of what's really going on.
Well, they're not going to tell you the real news on the TV. All they are is fluff and fear-mongering. What's holding us up right now is we're still the reserve currency. And if we get yanked out too suddenly, it would cause a world collapse. So what China's doing, this is what I think, just my opinion, is that they're collecting all this gold so they can take over as the new world currency. And if you want the perfect example of how they can do it, America would have to go to a two-tier money system where we're paying our debt to China and everybody else, and an internal money system. That's the only perfect way they could do it without causing a catastrophic collapse. But right now, if they yanked it out, I don't think the world's ready to lose America right at this instant. But once China's in that position to fill in the gap for us, then that's when it's going to get worried. And that could be anywhere from tomorrow to 5 years from now. I really don't see how our money can stay as the world currency leader, as a reserve currency for the next 5 years. I think even 5 years is stretching it.
Yeah, I mean, what's up with all these bankers' suicides? And it just seems like something's right around the corner that they're not telling us about. Like all the DHS and FEMA, they're arming themselves up for something. And haven't they been trying to put in like a world currency? Like, are they doing this on purpose? Why do we owe this much money? I mean, who authorized all the selling of all this debt and getting in all this debt? That's what I'd like to know. I mean, I know it took a long time to get here, but I know the people to me aren't responsible for the debt. To me, it's the politicians who have sold us out and made these deals under the table. So I honestly don't think the people should be responsible for this massive debt. And another possibility, I think, what if they collapse the country on purpose so they can turn it into the North American Union? And once we're the North American Union, we can have a new currency, a new flag, and it would make us better able to compete against China. If if the currency collapses, we'll have to come out. They even have a new currency ready to go called the Amero. Have you heard of that?
Oh yeah. They're definitely gearing up for some kind of change, and I just think it's like a chessboard. They're putting all the pieces into place, and as soon as everything's finished, then you're going to wake up one day and the bank's going to be closed. It's going to be a bank holiday, and everybody will be in a panic for a couple of weeks, and then they'll come out with the new currency to save the day. Amazing how it took 10 years to get it all together, and it will be released in such a short time. So, yeah, we're being played, and our government has way overspent, and it's just ridiculous. I don't see why we have gone so far. And with the Obama administration cutting back on the military right now, it's kind of scary time. So I think, personally, if you're not a prepper, you're insane. It's just like having insurance on your house. You don't expect your house to burn down to the ground, but you carry insurance, and food insurance is probably the biggest, most important thing you can do right now.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Food has got to be one of the most important things there is, because you can't eat gold, and just the food prices alone, they're skyrocketing, and I suggest that you have at least 6 months to a year's worth of food. But with the prices being so high, it's hard for a lot of people to stock up on extra food or build a survival pantry. But there are some things that you can do, like I joined the whole